Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I do quite a few true crime stories that end in the most horrific ways, but I also try to mix it up a little bit with all kinds of stories so that my channel is just not one way. It's one way in the sense that I talk a lot about corruption and the terrible things that human beings are doing to each other, whether it's family, friends, or strangers. And this one today is a little bit different. This has to deal with stealing and fraud. And no matter what your title or your position is in life or your outward appearance of being a successful, happy person, sometimes your inward self might be up to something else. And this one here is about a gentleman who had a big title at a mid-level, small university here in St. Louis. He had a big title, big position, and decided to do something by sticking his hand in an illegal cookie jar that ended in him getting arrested and indicted. So this is a short one. It's a little bit different, and tell me what you think. Former Webster University IT director admits to $2.1 million fraud. St. Peter's resident and former Webster University IT director Ronald Simpson, 54, admitted to a $2.1 million fraud scheme in court. A St. Peter's man admitted on Tuesday, a few months ago, to defrauding Webster University and its information technology supplier of more than $2 million, according to a statement from the United States Attorney's Office of the Eastern District of Missouri. The former IT director of Webster University, 54-year-old Ronald Simpson, pleaded guilty to one felony count of wire fraud. The United States Attorney's Office didn't name the university that Simpson defrauded, but a statement from Webster University here in St. Louis said Simpson was employed there until September of 2023. Simpson was responsible. Now, this is how he did it. And this is what this video is about, to enlighten you on some of the things that people are doing. Simpson was responsible for repairing and replacing defective IT gear at his employer's multiple locations, according to the statement from the United States Attorney's Office. So Webster University here in St. Louis has a main campus, university campus, and then they have satellite campuses around the St. Louis County area. Beginning about November 29, 2018, Simpson devised a scheme to enrich himself at the expense of the university and their equipment supplier. After receiving approval to purchase hundreds of items of IT equipment by falsely claiming the equipment would be used or installed at the university's locations, Simpson sold that equipment to a third party. The part of the scheme that got Simpson at least $1 million from the university. He also fraudulently obtained 56 items from the university's IT supplier by falsely claiming that the equipment they originally had supplied was defective. Simpson then sold both the original equipment and the replacement gear. A total of $780,233 worth of replacement equipment was sent to the university based on Simpson's false claims. Simpson received in total $2,188,704 for the equipment. His sentencing is scheduled for September 17th. He faces up to 20 years in prison a $250,000 fine, and or both. This is a statement from Webster University. At Webster University, we expect our employees to conduct their job responsibilities according to the highest standards. Last year, we became aware of and concerned about actions by Ronald D. Simpson, who at the time held a position in the university's Information Technology Department. Upon learning this information, we promptly notified the federal law enforcement. Following a thorough investigation, Mr. Simpson's employment relationship with Webster University ended in September of 2023. Today, Mr. Simpson has pleaded guilty to these federal criminal charges. While we are not able to comment on this ongoing law enforcement proceeding, the crimes for which Mr. Simpson has admitted guilt represent intentional deception and deliberate violations of numerous policies and procedures that he was required to follow. They said, we look forward to seeing this matter addressed through the justice system. Over the past several months, we have enhanced purchasing procedures, protocols, and audits to strengthen the protections against this type of misconduct in the future. So, here is the cautionary tale. Having a scheme and basically stealing or committing fraud can become an addiction no different than gambling or even drug addiction. And what happens to you psychologically, let alone physically, is that once you start, you can't stop. And for this gentleman, I believe, he saw with such ease that he was able to conjure up this fraudulent scheme. There was no way out and no way going backwards. Because once you see as a human being how easy it is to defraud a company or your employer, 99% of the time, individuals don't stop. They keep doing what they're doing until they get caught. So when people look at these stories and say, okay, he should have just stopped at 1 million or 10,000. Well, first of all, he should not have done it. He's the IT director. There's going to be checks and balances at some point where this fraud that he was doing in the dark was eventually going to come to light. And that's what took place. This $2 million hit at this small university is a really, really big deal. And here again, I talk about it in my videos all the time. No matter what somebody's title is, position is, at a company or university, we have the presumption of innocence, and we think that, okay, this person climbed the corporate ladder or the educational ladder and everything seems above board. But behind closed doors, this gentleman had both his hands in the cookie jar to the excess of $2 million. And it finally, Pandora's box opened and he got caught. It's an unfortunate situation. St. Louis is not a very big town. So of course, as this thing gets out, he's going to be castigated, and there's going to be plenty of character assassination through the Webster suburb, through the universities that are here, St. Louis U, Wash U, Webster University, Lindenwood University. This gentleman will never get a job back in one of those places again, let alone having to commit to a felony of theft, and the amount that will be on his record forever. And there will be certain jobs that he will never ever be able to ascertain. Like, for example, he will never be able to be around cash. He will never be able to work at a bank, for example. So as a result of this secret fraud and theft scheme, now he's going to have to pay that price for the rest of his life and have that jacket of him being a thief and stealing a couple of $1 million from a small university. There always has to be checks and balances. Sometimes just when you think you know a person, the pressures and stresses and anxiety of life can lead people to go down the wrong road. And sometimes it's about keeping up with the Joneses. What was he doing with the $2 million? Was he using it to buy vehicles, to buy a bigger house, to do some things in his home or buy a vacation home, and utilize that money for those particular functions? But since he got caught, whatever gains he acquired when this stealing fraudulent scheme started, he is going to have to give all of that back. So this is a life-changing situation for Mr. Simpson, who was the IT director at Webster University, and is a cautionary tale that stealing and doing things that are not positive and righteous will eventually get you caught up. And we are in a time, in today's time, where you could build a career and a reputation over 50 years, and one negative incident can get your character assassinated and change your life forever. And this is what this story is all about. Tell me what you think about this gentleman stealing over $2 million from Webster University right in St. Louis, Missouri. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.